proper and good education is very important for all of us. Like it facilitates quality learning all through the life among people of any age group, caste or creed or religion or region, for example. So now combine this with leadership. When a leader leads with education, starts leading by example, the followers experience total transformation. So today we have one such expert with us, Dr. Pratima Khandelwal, a passionate educator and facilitator for over 21 years, like a dedicated mentor for both young teachers and students at higher education institutions in India, a keen researcher in food and biotechnology and a dedicated leader, one who is sincerely contributing for building capacities for disruptive teams and the new normal at academia through her MSME unit as well, which is called FlyHigh at Bengaluru. So let's live a limitless life with Dr. Pratima today. Welcome to the show, Dr. Pratima.
Thank you, Dr. Ram. Thank you. Wonderful.
Wish I was also a doctor, but that was my dream when I was growing up. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I would say,
yes,
life got me to a different direction.
You are doing awesome, I must say.
But I'm talking to many different doctors nowadays. That is also good.
Great.
Perfect. Let's start with the first question. How to develop agility and learnability in the disruptive times that we are all into, especially in the post-pandemic world that we are going through right now? What would you
yes, great, Ram. I would like to answer this question coming from the higher education industry. I wish all the stakeholders, in particularly the students community, as well as the teaching community with all the staff, we all need to now really be more curious and wonderful in observation and use the common sense more what is happening around us, in particularly taking the digital technology and societal needs into consideration. I'm sure the last 1 year has beautifully taught us how important it is to be having more of learnability through self skills rather than only depending on external sources. So also it's important is to have wonderful command and communication. And I'm sure you will agree when it comes to this tool, we have reservations at many corners. So the need is there now to really pump in energies to be having more strengthened through soft skills. And certainly when I say in particularly communication skills. Equally important for being agile is to have skills like negotiation and articulation. And when I say that, I really mean the time has gone that we would be appreciating the specialists, but now we are talking about people who are required are deep generalists. So one domain we can go, or two domain we can go in depth, but being multidisciplinary in nature, let's spread our wings as wider section. So I call it as good as that, something like deep generalist. I would like to say that. So these are some of the ways in which we can really invite ourselves to be agile, to be adaptive, and to be a learner.
Amazing. That's what we do in coaching as well.
Yes.
Going as far, as wide or as deep as we can. So some of our authors, like I would say, they have this question all the time. They ask me like, Ram, what kind of book I should write? So then I would say quickly, like, let's talk about what are the 5 things that you want to teach people, and then let's go deep into each one of those.
Great.
And that could be 5 different chapters in your book, or it could be 5 different books as well. It can go as deep as that. Anyway,
absolutely.
So that brings me to my second question. Like, what's the important learning that you have picked up during your 2 decades? That's a long time. That's 2 decades of your professional journey. So some important learning that you have picked up on the way could be a very good.
I like to say, the learning which I saw and I've picked up is that my observation has led me to tell that we are in higher education in particular, we are more transactional and academic oriented rather than developing the actual connect. What I'm trying to say is that, say, example, teachers and learners, the students. So when we are connected only for the academic purpose or transactional, I'm sorry, this actually happens down the line. So there's a limited outcomes. And I'm sure you understand that technologies are not coming out from universities or higher education institutions. What actually is required, in particular in India, I'm talking in Indian context. So can we have somewhere more openness and opening up of the people as well as connecting? So when I say connecting, it's absolutely beyond a role which is just for learning or teaching. So can we just diverge and again then converge? But the learning will be that can we have more of happiness indices being spoken rather than only marks or certificates, is what I'm trying to say, Ram. So I wish that that is there. And the good news is that those signals are coming now. The time is changing, and the time is also being adapting to this needs. That's one thing I'd like to say. And one general aspect is that you can see very clear changes in public and private sectors, the mindset, the way we tend to work, the outcomes. So the gaps have to be reduced, I feel, as a learning. And exactly when I do talk to leaders of these both sectors, that exactly is one of the focus when we try to do reduction. And I'm sure the NEP 2020 for this nation will bring those sea changes, as which I see myself also in a very emphatic way. That's what I like to say. So more technology coming from academia will really bring the wonderful colors which will resonate in times to come.
That's
That's it.
such a good news to hear, actually.
Yes,
It's
yes.
like music, right? So, and would you also like to share, like I would insist that you share two other important things that must change in the ecosystem of the Indian higher education? What would they be?
Yes, certainly the things which will change is that we will be now talking more about human development rather than only academic or, as I was mentioning, those kind of development which just stretch our career goals. So now the time has come to develop human being as a whole. I'm sure you know the term which we are talking of these days is about emotional intelligence. So not at the only time of crisis, but also in the time of day-to-day routine work, till celebration or in difficult times. So one is human development with taking the environment and society into consideration. That's one good change which is bound to come, and I'm sure the signals and COVID has taught us a lot on this. I must say that. And something second is that I'll bring it in terms of teaching community because I come from that. That it has to be more empathetic as well as techno oriented. So the pedagogical or anthropological tools will now be more empathetic as well as techno pedagogical or techno anthropological. So we can't teach now without technology. That's one thing. Same way, we can't teach without being empathetic. So a subtle meaning of emotional intelligence is going to come. In fact, it already started in
Mhm.
unconventional schools and institutions, but it will be just spreading around as the time goes. And I'm sure, Ram, you also will see near future, say 2 to 5 years from now, the changes are going to be amazing, I must say.
Absolutely, absolutely. Pratima. The thing is, that's what we have been seeing for the last 15 years have been phenomenal. Like 15 years
Yes,
ago, how we were going to work, how we were traveling, how we were eating, and how we were
yes,
shopping. Everything has changed. For the last
changed.
5, 10 years,
True,
everything
true.
has changed. And I'm
We can't
sure,
imagine a life without technology now.
absolutely,
Just the
absolutely.
day starts with phone. I mean, like, not I'm saying overly addicted, but the utility part I'm saying,
Yeah.
and that has come in this.
See, it is like technology is like a knife. Like we can use it to cut finger or cut vegetables. Like if,
True, true, wonderful.
all
And
right,
AI has penetrated our lives, so we need to
absolutely.
embrace it now with care and caution. Absolutely.
Got it. So, is there, since we are now in that sharing spree and sharing mode,
Yeah.
I would like to ask you to share two more pieces of advice with the
Okay.
viewers today. What would they be? Your expert advice.
Yes. To all the viewers out there, I must say that something which often is missing in us, let's grab it, and that's being more self-aware, being more self-motivated, rather than waiting external sources to motivate us. So these two are something. This is actually one point from my side because they are interconnected, and it's really important that it's okay to fail. Let's accept it's okay to fail, and I say with pride. You can hear from my tone, but it's important to be resilient, come back, bounce back, and really stretch our goals. And I'm sure with these two skills as pieces of advice, this is applicable to me, to all. And I'm sure, Ram, you also can resonate. So the second would be a lifelong learner. Gone are the days when we say, yes, my education is over, my learning is over, in all the practicality. But today's time, the way times are changing in fast disruption way, we need to be a beautiful LLL, lifelong learner, and one who is open to enjoy the path which he or she has laid with self belief to do and to make wonderful changes, not only for us, but for the nearby environment and overall society as a whole. That's what I like to say, Ram.
Absolutely amazing. I especially like the LLL acronym, lifelong learning,
Yeah.
especially true. Perfect. So we are coming to the end of this online show,
Yes.
and we have this 3-2-1 concept, as you already know.
Yes.
Like I asked you three questions, I asked you to share two amazing tips that you did. So now comes to the last part, which is one amazing key resource that if you want to share with the viewers, what would that be?
Yes. Something beyond digital, what is happening, there are wonderful MOOCs or the massive open online courses, what I'm sure most of our viewers are knowing, and the massive YouTube platform. But I like to say something for self-reading is a wonderful book written by national bestseller Prakash Iyer's book. The title is The Secret of Leadership. I repeat, The Secret of Leadership. It's an amazing book, Ram, where he brings out a very subtle way, yet very emphatic way. The first that we all are leader for our life. Then let's talk of external leadership. So when I cannot, I mean, if I can channelize my life beautifully, and I'm sure I can take care of my home, my classroom, my organization, my nearby. That's exactly the book brings subtle ways to pick up leadership skill from day-to-day people whom we interact. They could be our support system to the leader of the organization or the nation. So I wish our readers go through this book as a resource. And I must thank you for this beautiful thought, what you have stitched in 321. I never heard it in such a nice way you brought. And like exactly, I learned from you how nicely you could bring from your organization the ways to bring out this culture of picking up diversity, perspectives, and taking it to people around in a different way.
Thank you so
Wonderful.
much. Thank you so much for your kind words, Dr. Pratima. It was fantastic, and it was really inspiring to have you on the show today. Thank you for helping all of us live limitless with the 3-2-1 Live Limitless show today. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Wonderful being in your show. Thank you once again.